Hi, my name is Ryan Lane, and welcome to my review channel. So for today's movie, I will be reviewing Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, directed by Ryan Coogler and starring Letitia Wright, Angela Bassett, and Lupita Nyong'o. Anyway, so this film takes place about sometime after the events of Avengers Endgame. You know, the original Black Panther, at least as far as we know, T'Challa, played by Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. He dies suddenly off screen of an unexplained illness, as a news report says. And if you're looking for an explanation on what that illness is, yeah, tough luck. The film doesn't go into it. And I can't really blame them. I mean, any explanation would have been picked apart by fans, so I kind of respect the MCU writers for being like, you know what, any explanation would come up will just be hated, so screw you, no explanation. So yeah, and for what it's worth, it does fit well within the film. They do avoid the undramatized exposition of explaining it and just sort of let the characters instead grapple with the emotional repercussions of his untimely death. And one of those repercussions is actually physical. Now that the Wakanda's protector, as he is referred to, is now dead, every country wants a piece of that sweet, sweet vibranium to make weapons of mass destruction and just in general take over the world. Okay, maybe not take over the world, but exert power over the world. Anyway, and so because of this, they decide to go underwater and they incur the wrath of the Talokan Empire, led by King Namor, whose name actually has a rather interesting backstory that I won't spoil. Anyway, so because of this, Shuri, General Okoye, and Queen Ramonda now have to deal with this new threat while also protecting Wakanda. Anyway, so lots to like about this movie. For starters, I do love the mature direction this film takes with the material. The jokes are way toned down from other MCU movies, although the film does incorporate humor. However, it feels more organic to the characters, and there's a nice chemistry between all the actors, and in a way that feels really funny at times. I really like it. Also, just from a pure production value design, this film is probably easily the best of all the 2022 MCU movies, because it feels like they actually shot on, sets instead of just saying, just get some green screens and just fix it in post. Like, they actually put some effort into the set design, and I really like that. It gives a nice tangible feel to it, and the sets are creative and colorful, whether the sets are above or below the water. It's all really well done. And even the underwater set scenes are done really good. I never felt like an awkward, 2017 Justice League feeling, with the CGI for the underwater action and set design. Really well done there. Anyway, also, the actors do a really good job. Letitia Wright as Shuri in general, she does a good job of handling her character's emotional arc as she kind of tries to diffuse the conflict between Wakanda and the Talokan Empire. And her character arc feels eerily reminiscent of T'Challa's character arc. In a good way, of course. In a way that, has history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme kind of feel to it. I like that. Plus, General Okoye, she has a really good moment. She manages to get a lot of pathos out of the role. And Angela Bassett, too. She does a great job trying to mentor her and daughter Shuri in how to handle grief while also leading Wakanda. I really enjoyed that. Plus, King Namor, he is really good. He has a fascinating backstory. At least to me, it's fascinating. I've never encountered the character out of any comic book. I mean, this film is my first exposure to King Namor, so I was really fascinated to hear about his backstory, and his backstory incorporates issues of colonization and resource extraction into the film in a way that feels organic and compelling, and his and his motives are understandable, and once again, his methods not so much. So yeah, it's, again, really good characters all around. The action scenes, again, for the most part, save out of one initial scene. They're shot in a way that captures the action well. And for the initial scene, there's kind of an issue where it feels like there were way too many cuts obscuring the choreography. So, but again, thankfully, outside of like the initial scene, all the action is done well. Plus, the film does a really good job of conveying the political conflict between the Americans, the Wakandans, and the Talokan Empire. In fact, there's a really great sort of tit-for-tat type interaction between the Wakandans and the Talokans, where the Talokans are like, yo, if you do this, we will do that. And the Wakandans are like, yeah, well, Uno reverse, jerks. Like, if you do that, we will do this different thing to you. However, and so I really found that conflict between them really compelling, unlike other, films that have tried to do political conflict a la, say, Medieval, where they just use a bunch of boring expository dialogue. I mean, that's not to say the political conflict is done perfectly. There's kind of an issue with the Americans. Like, literally at one point in the movie, the CIA is considering a full-blown invasion of Wakanda, and like the character Ross, played by Martin Short, is like, how about we not do that? And it kind of, and the conflict kind of goes nowhere, and instead ends up feeling like a cheap a way to get another Black Panther sequel out of this movie. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it could have been done better, or at least better integrated into the story. So yeah, so despite not quite completely nailing the political conflict, this Black Panther Wakanda Forever successfully continues on the legacy of the Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman through well-written characters and mature direction and great world building. So with all that in mind, I will be giving Black Panther Wakanda Forever 4 out of 5 stars. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. If you like this review and would like to see more like it, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And for today's comments section prompt of the day, did you like Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Why or why not?